Hey, are you thinking about buying a home in Toronto? But before you find your dream home, there's some costs you really need to know about. From property tax to land transfer fees, these extra costs may over your budget. Today we're going to break down Toronto property taxes and some of the hidden fees to help you avoid the mistake that new buyers often make. Make sure you watch till the end to understand these fees so you can be well prepared before you buy. Also, what we're talking about in here is only applied to Canadian permanent resident or citizen, not for overseas buyer. Now, let's get started. Hey, if this is the first time on this channel and you want to know everything about living in Toronto, please subscribe below and smash the bell button so you can be the first to know current market in Toronto. My name is Jack and I'm your local realtor. We get called every day from people just like you. So whether you're buying, selling, or relocating to Toronto, feel free to reach out. My contact information in the description box below. We are happy to help. Let's dive in.
First, let's talk about property taxes. This is a cost you have to pay every year for owning a house. In Toronto, property taxes are calculated based on how much your property is worth, according to the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation. But sometimes, impact's value is a bit different from the market price. For residential properties, the property tax rate in Toronto is about 0.8%. So, if your house is valued at $800,000 by Municipal Property Assessment Corporation, you'll pay about $6,400 in property taxes each year. However, the property tax rate can be different in different areas, so when you buy a house, make sure to check the property tax rate in the area you want. For example, places like Mississauga or Markham might have slightly different tax rates, so you need to include this cost in your budget. Next, how much money do you need to save for a down payment? In Canada, the minimum down payment depends on the price of the house. For houses under $500,000, it's 5%. For houses between $500,000 and $1,500,000, it's 5% of the first $500,000 and 10% of the rest. For houses $1,500,000 and over, it's 20%. If your down payment is less than 20%, you'll need to buy mortgage default insurance, also known as CMHC insurance. Let's use an $800,000 house as an example. 5% of the first $500,000 is $25,000. 10% of the remaining $300,000 is $30,000. So, the minimum down payment is $25,000 plus $30,000, which is $55,000 in total. Now, let's talk about land transfer tax. This is a one-time cost you pay when you buy a house. In Toronto, the land transfer tax is calculated based on the purchase price of the property. Specifically, in the city of Toronto, like Scarborough or Etobicoke, there are two types of land transfer tax: the provincial tax and the city tax, so you actually have to pay two taxes. For example, if you buy a house worth $800,000, the land transfer tax is $12,475 for the provincial tax, another $12,475 for the city tax. So, for an $800,000 house, your total land transfer tax is $24,950. But if you buy a house in other parts of Ontario, like Markham or Ajax, you only have to pay the provincial tax. So, for an $800,000 house, you'll only pay $12,475. Also, if you're a first-time home buyer, you might be able to get a land transfer tax rebate from the government. The Ontario provincial rebate is $4,000, and the City of Toronto rebate is $4,475. So, for an $800,000 house in Toronto, you'll pay $16,475 in land transfer tax. In other parts of Ontario, you'll pay $8,475. This is a big one-time cost, so make sure you include it in your home buying budget. Another cost is mortgage payment. This is an ongoing expense that you'll need to make either bi-weekly or monthly, depending on your mortgage plan. I can't give you any numbers in this video because they can change frequently based on mortgage rates and the specific offers from banks or financial institutions. Besides property taxes, land transfer tax, and mortgage payment, there are some hidden fees that first-time home buyers often forget about. Let's talk about transaction costs. Transaction costs are usually about 1.5% to 4% of the house price. These include lawyer fees. You need a real estate lawyer to help with the legal documents, which costs about $1,000 to $2,000. Home inspection. Checking the house is important to make sure it's in good condition, which usually costs about $400 to $800. Title insurance. This insurance protects you from legal problems with the property title, and it costs about $250 to $500. Mortgage and appraisal fees. If you need a mortgage, there might be appraisal and application fees, which usually cost about $300 to $800. So these extra fees can add up. Make sure you include them in your budget when you buy a house. Finally, after you buy the house, there are daily maintenance and utility costs. Utilities. This includes electricity, gas, water, and garbage collection, which can vary depending on the size of your house and the season. Maintenance. This includes things like lawn care and snow removal. And if your house is older, you might need to save extra money for repairs. Also, if you buy a condo or condo townhouse, you might have to pay a monthly maintenance fee of $300 to $1,000. The cost depends on the size of your place. To sum up, when you buy a house in Toronto or Ontario, you need to know about these property taxes and other fees. Property taxes, yearly cost based on the property value. Land transfer tax, one-time cost when you buy the house. Transaction fees, lawyer fees, home inspection, title insurance, etc. Mortgage payment. This is an ongoing expense. Daily maintenance and utility costs, long-term maintenance, and daily expenses.
Please be aware that the number and figure in this video may change over time, especially for the property tax and land transfer tax. Always check with the professional before you're buying a house. Remember, buying a house is a long-term commitment. Understand this cost will help you plan your budget wisely. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe this channel. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye now.